It's just spectacular.
So does this view ever get old?
No, because it's always changing.
Kirk Gaffill has spent his life on the bluffs of Big Sur. He runs Nepenthe Restaurant, where the tables come with a view so wide, it shifts your perspective. Gaffill's grandparents first moved here in 1947, after Hollywood royalty moved out.
They bought the property from Rita Hayworth and Orson Welles, who had bought the property a couple of years earlier on their honeymoon trip, and then got divorced. And so they decided to build a restaurant.
Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton filmed scenes at Nepenthe for the 1965 film The Sandpiper. But the true star of the show around here has always been Highway 1. Opened in 1937 in a burst of optimism at the end of the Great Depression.
So this road, Highway 1, has been a part of your entire life.
Yeah, it is the part of Big Sur that is fundamental to living here, to having a business here, and so access is everything.
And right now, there are signs of trouble in paradise.
As we sit here today, the road is closed just south of here. What does that do to your business?
It represents about a 30 to 35% drop in business levels. We know these closures are going to happen. It's just a matter of when, not if. It's almost become an annualized event.
Fierce storms from 2 back-to-back wet winters have battered the Santa Lucia Mountains, causing landslides that have buried and broken the road in 4 places.
When the bridge fell north of here, and we had a big landslide to the south, we lived in what we call the island. So we were essentially closed off.
Beautiful what you've done with it too.
Magnus Torin lives in Big Sur, where he runs the Henry Miller Memorial Library, dedicated to the writer who helped put the area on the map in the 1950s.
This is the California that men dreamed of years ago. This is the face of the earth as the creator intended it to look.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's almost as dramatic as the landscape.
Right.
Torin lives just a few miles from where Highway 1 comes to an abrupt end, closed to the south for nearly 2 years.
Are you concerned in the future that this road and this situation here becomes more precarious?
Of course. I mean, who wouldn't be? I've asked the question, can we continue to keep this highway open forever when it gets so assaulted by landslides and also fires?
Scientists say climate change is fueling more frequent and intense wildfires and more powerful winter storms, a potent mix that increases the risk of landslides in an area already prone to them. In the past 5 years, California has spent nearly $230 million repairing just this stretch of Highway 1.
I mean, that's real money.
That is real money, absolutely, but it's an important roadway for California. This is part of the original road.
Tony Taveras is director of California's Department of Transportation.
You know, climate change is something that I think nationally we talk about in the distant future. Here in California, we're experiencing it every day.
Further up the coast, erosion forced Caltrans to move sections of Highway 1 400 feet inland. But with mountains on one side and the Pacific on the other, there's nowhere to go along Big Sur.
Is it possible to make this thing resilient in the face of what's to come?
We are doing our best. We believe it's possible. I can tell you right now, we're not abandoning this roadway.
Is Highway 1 simply too big to fail?
I would say it is too important to fail, absolutely.
And while there are certainly easier places to live, Magnus Torin says there are none more beautiful.
For so many of us who come through here on a road trip, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Yeah.
This is your everyday.
It is, yeah. I do sometimes pinch myself and think, how could I have been so lucky? Yeah, so I'm very grateful.